The morning Adaeze buried her father. The clouds refused to shine. It was as if heaven itself had joined in her sorrow. The men lowered the coffin slowly, their chants mixing with the wails of women dressed in black wrappers. Adaeze stood at the edge of the grave, frozen. Her eyes were dry, but her heart screamed inside her chest. Her father, Mr. Obinna-Eda, had been everything: her laughter, her safety, her teacher. He wasn't rich, but he was kind. He taught her how to read from old newspapers and always said, Adaeze, knowledge is light. Nobody can steal it from you, but death did after he died. Things changed quickly. Her mother, Ngozi, tried to be strong, but poverty pressed her from every side. Their small farm couldn't feed them anymore, and the bills kept coming. So, after crying for weeks, Ngozi made the hardest decision of her life to send her only child to Lagos to live with her late husband's younger brother, Uncle Desmond, who had promised to take care of Adaeze the day Adaeze left the village. Her mother tied her wrapper tightly, hiding her tears. My daughter, don't forget who you are. She said, respect your uncle, read your books, and never let anyone make you feel small. Adaeze nodded, trying to smile. I'll make you proud. Mama, the bus ride to Lagos felt endless. She stared out the window as trees and dusty roads gave way to highways and tall buildings. When the bus entered the city, Adaeze's eyes widened. Cars everywhere, lights that never went off. People rushing like they were all late for something. Uncle Desmond's house in Surler was too big for her. It had shiny tiles, a generator that never went off, and the smell of expensive perfume. But something about it didn't feel like home when she knocked. Auntie Regina, Desmond's wife, opened the door. She looked Adaeze up and down, her eyes sharp like glass. So this is the village girl, she said softly. You better not bring your village manners here. Adaeze smiled shyly. Good afternoon. Ma, go and greet your uncle. He's inside. Her uncle was Kinder. At least at first. He patted her shoulder and said, welcome. Adaeze, this is your new home. But she quickly learned that a house is not the same as a home. That evening, she met her cousin Zara, the older one, and Darren, the younger brother. Zara was about 15, tall, light-skinned, and full of pride. She wore designer clothes and always had her phone in her hand. Darren barely talked. He just followed his sister around at dinner. Nobody spoke to Adaeze. When she tried to ask for more rice, Auntie Regina frowned. Eat what you have. Lagos children don't behave like gluttons. That night, Adaeze slept on a small bed in the corner of the corridor. The cold floor bit into her skin. She stared at the ceiling, holding her father's photo close to her chest, whispering, Papa, I miss you. I'll be strong, promise. Outside, the generator hummed inside. The little girl from the village began her lonely life in the big city. When the sun rose over Surler that Monday, the city was already alive, buses honking, hawkers shouting, and people hurrying to work. It was Adaeze's first day at her new school, Royal Crest Secondary School, a private school filled with children from rich homes. She woke up early, swept the corridor quietly, fetched water, and washed the plates before anyone even came out of their rooms. By the time she finished, she was sweating. But Auntie Regina only said, make sure you iron Zara's uniform. I don't want her going to school looking rough because of you. Adaeze nodded quickly and went to do it. Zara, her cousin, sat on the bed scrolling through her phone with painted nails, not even looking at her when Adaeze was done. She wore her own old uniform, the one her mother had sewn neatly before she left the village. It looked faded beside Zara's sparkling one. Zara laughed. Are you really going to school? Like that you'll look like a housemaid. Following her, madam? Adaeze smiled faintly. It's still neat. Zara hissed. We'll see how long you'll last in Royal Crest. The school gate was wide and painted blue, with a security man who saluted cars as they entered. Adaeze followed behind her cousins quietly. Students stood in groups, laughing, taking selfies, eating snacks when they saw Adaeze. Some started whispering, who's that girl with Zara? She looks like she came from the village. Look at her shoes. Zara smiled proudly and said loud enough for everyone to hear. She's my cousin, my uncle's daughter from the village. She just came to Lagos. She doesn't even know how to use a phone." The crowd of students burst into laughter. Adaeze's face burned with shame. She wanted to disappear all through the morning. She sat alone in class. Her accent made everyone laugh whenever she tried to answer a question. During break, she brought out the food her mother had wrapped in nylon gari and groundnut. One girl sighed and shouted, "Oh my God, she's drinking gari in school." Even her teacher smiled awkwardly, pretending not to notice. By the second week, things got worse. Zara and her friends Tommy, Violet, and Fula began to torment her daily. They would hide her books, pour water on her chair, or whisper loudly about her whenever she walked past. Village rat, she doesn't know anything. She should go back to her bush. Sometimes Darren, Zara's younger brother, tried to defend her. "Zara, leave her alone." But Zara would roll her eyes. "You're defending a maid now." Okay, one Friday afternoon, after school, Adaeze sat under the big mango tree behind the classroom, crying quietly. She missed her father. She missed peace. She didn't understand why people could be so wicked then. A voice spoke softly. "Hey, why are you crying?" She looked up. It was Daniel, one of her classmates. He was gentle, quiet, and kind. "Don't mind those girls," he said. "They just talk too much." Adaeze wiped her tears. "It's okay. I'm used to it." "No," Daniel said. "Don't get used to pain. One day they'll stop." His words gave her a tiny spark of hope. For the first time in weeks, Adaeze smiled, but the peace didn't last long. The next Monday, during assembly, Zara saw Adaeze laughing with Daniel. Her eyes turned cold. She whispered to Tommy, "So she's trying to steal my crush now. A village girl over my dead body." That was when Zara began to plan something darker, something beyond mockery, something that would shake the whole school. That night, while Adaeze was washing plates, she overheard Zara on a call, whispering to her friends, "Yes, after school on Friday will make her regret ever coming here." She paused, listening. "No, don't tell anyone. Just be there behind the field after closing. I'll handle everything." Adaeze froze, her heart beating fast. She didn't understand what Zara meant, but deep down, something told her danger was coming. The days that followed were silent and tense. Zara and her friends stopped mocking her openly. They even smiled at her sometimes, pretending to be kind. "Hey, Adaeze," Violet said one day, "you're actually pretty when you smile." Adaeze looked surprised, but managed to smile back. They invited her to join them after school on Friday. They said they wanted to make peace. Adaeze, innocent and hopeful, agreed. She thought maybe they were finally ready to stop the bullying. She had no idea she was walking into a trap. Friday came faster than Adaeze expected. The morning sun rose golden over Lagos, and birds sang above the school's roof. But something about the air felt strange, heavy, quiet, like it was holding a secret. Adaeze woke up early as usual. She swept, washed plates, and ironed Zara's uniform before getting ready for school. She even tied her scarf neatly, trying to look her best. In her heart, she was hopeful. Maybe Zara truly wanted to make peace. Maybe her nightmare was finally over. At breakfast, Auntie Regina spoke only to Zara. "Remember, you'll be staying late after school for your prefect meeting. Your uncle will pick you up at 5. Zara smiled. "Yes." Mummy Adaeze didn't know the meeting was part of the lie at school. Things seemed normal. The teachers taught, students laughed, and life looked ordinary. During break, Zara even came to Adaeze's desk. "Adaeze," she said sweetly, "we've been so unfair to you. I'm sorry. Can we start over?" Adaeze blinked in surprise. "Really?" "Yes," Zara smiled. "We just misunderstood you. After school, come behind the field near the mango trees. We'll all talk, settle things, and be friends again." Adaeze smiled shyly. "Thank you, Zara, I'll come." Daniel overheard the conversation when the girls left. He turned to Adaeze. "Are you sure about that? They've never been nice before." Adaeze hesitated. "I know, but what if they've changed?" Daniel sighed. "Just be careful." When the closing bell rang, the school compound slowly emptied. Students laughed their way into cars and buses. Teachers waved goodbye, and the security man began locking the small gate by the back field. But Adaeze stayed behind, walking toward the mango trees just as Zara had told her. The place was quiet. The sound of crickets mixed with the hum of distant traffic. Then she saw them. Zara, Tommy, Violet, and Fulla standing in a small circle. Zara's face looked calm. "To come, Adaeze said softly. Walking closer I came. Zara smiled coldly. "We know," before Adaeze could blink. Tommy pushed her hard from behind. She fell to the ground. "Why are you doing this?" Adaeze cried. Zara knelt beside her. Her voice sharp like glass. "You embarrass me in front of everyone. You made me look like a bully. And now you think you can steal Daniel from me? You think Lagos is for people like you." Tommy kicked Adaeze's leg. Violet grabbed her bag and threw it away. "Please," Adaeze begged. "I didn't do anything." But they didn't stop. They slapped her, pushed her to the dirt, pulling her hair, laughing like devils. "You'll learn to respect people above you," Zara shouted. After some minutes, Adaeze stopped struggling. Her head hit a stone and her eyes rolled back. She fell silent. Zara froze. "Wait, is she breathing?" Fulla bent over her. "I don't think so." They all panicked. Tommy's hands shook. "Zara, what do we do?" Zara's voice trembled. "We can't go to jail. My mom will kill me. We have to hide her, bury her or something." "What?" "No way," Violet cried. "Do you want everyone to know we killed her?" Zara snapped. They dragged Adaeze's limp body into the nearby bush behind the school compound. A lonely place people rarely passed after hours. The ground was soft from recent rain. Zara and Fulla began digging with sticks, and their hands sweating, crying. Desperate, Tommy and Violet stood watch, shaking with fear. "This is crazy." Violet whispered, "Zara, stop. What if someone sees us?" "No one will," Zara said through tears. "We just need to cover her up and leave." But fate had other plans at that moment. A local farmer named Baba Kunnel, who owned a small piece of land behind the school, was on his way home. He carried his hoe and cutlass, humming an old Yoruba song. Then he saw movement. 4 schoolgirls digging like thieves. He hid behind a tree and watched. For a few seconds, his eyes widened when he saw the small, still body on the ground. "Jesus," he gasped. "What are these children doing?" He dropped his hoe and ran as fast as he could to the main road. There, he saw a patrol van passing by and shouted, "Police, police, come quick." Dem one very small girl alive. The officers didn't even wait for full explanation. They followed Baba Kunnel into the bush. When they arrived, Zara and her friends froze like statues. One policeman shouted, "What's happening here?" Another officer bent down and touched Adaeze's wrist. "She's still alive. Quick, call for backup." Zara burst into tears. "We didn't mean to. We thought she was dead." The officers cuffed all of them immediately. "You will explain at the station." They carried Adaeze out gently. Her uniform was torn, her face bruised, but she was breathing faintly. Baba Kunnel helped them carry her to the van, whispering prayers as they drove off that night. The news spread like wildfire through the school and neighborhood. 4 students arrested for attempted murder of their classmate. Uncle Desmond rushed to the hospital when he saw Adaeze lying weak but alive. His heart broke. "My daughter," he cried softly. "What have I done? I brought you here thinking I was helping you." Auntie Regina couldn't speak, shame covered her face like a mask. Zara sat in the police cell crying endlessly, whispering, I didn't mean it, but sometimes sorry comes too late." The hospital room was quiet, filled with the soft beeping sound of machines. Sunlight sneaked through the white curtains and rested gently on Adaeze's pale face. For 2 days, she hadn't opened her eyes. Doctors said she was lucky the head injury was deep, but the farmer's quick action saved her life. On the 3rd morning, a soft groan escaped her lips. Her eyelids fluttered. A nurse, who had been adjusting her drip, gasped, "She's awake. Doctor, she's awake." The doctor rushed in, smiling, "My dear, you're safe now. Rest." "Okay." Adaeze looked around weakly. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Where am I?" "You're in the hospital," the nurse said gently. "You've been here for 2 days. You'll be fine." Tears slid down Adaeze's cheeks as memories of that Friday flashed through her mind. Zara's angry face, the shouting, the cold ground, and darkness swallowing her whole. "Daniel," she whispered, "please tell my friend." "Daniel, I'm okay." Hours later, Uncle Desmond came in. His eyes were red from crying. He held Adeeze's hand tightly. Kneeling beside her bed, Adaeze, "My daughter, I am sorry," he said. Voice trembling, "I failed you. I should have protected you." Adeeze's lips trembled. "Uncle, it's not your fault, it is," he said firmly. "I saw the way my wife and daughter treated you. I ignored it. I thought you'd adjust. I was blind." He pressed his forehead against her hand. "I promise, from today, you'll never suffer again." Auntie Regina stood quietly in the corner, her head bowed in shame. For the first time, she couldn't speak. The pride that always filled her voice was gone. When the doctor left them alone, Adaeze asked softly, "Where are they now?" Uncle sighed. "Zara and her friends are in police custody. The police said it's attempted murder. They'll be taken to juvenile court." Adaeze looked down at the white sheet, her heart heavy. "I don't want them to go to jail forever," she said. Her uncle stared in surprise. "After what they did to you?" "Yes," Adaeze said slowly. "I just want them to change. I want them to feel sorry, not destroyed. Because I know how it feels to lose everything." Her words melted everyone in the room. Even the nurse standing near the door wiped her eyes. Weeks passed. Adeeze's wounds healed slowly, but her heart grew stronger. Daniel visited her often with his moth, bringing books, fruits, and flowers. "You're really brave, Adaeze," he told her one day. She smiled faintly. "I just survived." That's all. The school management later came to the hospital too. The principal apologized deeply and promised to make sure no student would ever face such bullying again. They even created a no rule anti-bullying campaign, with Adeeze's story as a reminder to all. 1. Adaeze returned to school not as the weak girl everyone mocked, but as the girl who stood for forgiveness and strength. Some students whispered when they saw her again, but no one laughed anymore. They looked at her with respect and a little bit of fear. 2 months later, the juvenile court released Zara and her friends under strict conditions. They had to do community service every weekend and attend counseling sessions. One afternoon, as Adaeze was leaving class, she saw Zara standing near the gate. Her eyes were swollen from crying, her voice shaking. "Adaeze," she called softly. Adaeze turned. "I came to say thank you," Zara said, tears rolling down her cheeks. "The police told me you begged for us. I don't deserve it." Adaeze looked at her quietly. "I didn't do it for you. I did it because hate almost killed me. I can't carry it anymore." Zara broke down, kneeling right there. "I'm sorry. I swear I'll never hurt anyone again." Adaeze helped her up gently. "Then let's both move on." That hug, awkward, trembling, but real, became the final scene of their war that night. Adaeze sat outside Uncle Desmond's house, watching the stars. The wind was cool, the air peaceful. She held her father's old photograph again. "Smiling Papa," she whispered, "I kept your words. Knowledge is light, and light always wins." Somewhere in the distance, she could hear children laughing, a sound that once brought her pain, now bringing peace. The girl they tried to bury had bloomed again, stronger, wiser, and brighter than ever. So I want to use this opportunity to tell you that Jesus loves you, and he said he's coming very soon. Me and you don't know when it's coming. He can come at any time. We did not expect it. Is now that is not yet come that we have the chance and the opportunity to give our life to him, accept him as our Lord and personal Savior. No matter how far you are gone with your sin, he will still forgive you. Give your life to him today. He's waiting. Thank you for watching. If you learned from this story, don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next story.